So, picture this, a kid, barely 12, standing barefoot on a polished marble floor, staring down a room full of millionaires sipping overpriced champagne. That's Ellie, my niece, caught in the crosshairs of a dare that could have crushed her spirit or changed her life. It all started at this glitzy gala at the Hawthorne Manor, where Victor Kane, the big-shot real estate tycoon, decided to play God with a smirk and a whiskey glass. Dance a waltz, kid, and I'll take you in, mess up, and it's back to the garage with the rats. The room went dead quiet. Forks froze mid-air. You could feel the air thicken with judgment. Ellie's just this scrawny girl in a hand-me-down dress. Her grandpa Joy, a groundskeeper, who's been trimming Victor's hedges for years, standing by the door, his hands clenched so tight his knuckles were white. Nobody expected her to step up, not even me, her uncle, watching from the back, heart pounding like I was the one on trial. But Ellie? She didn't flinch. She walked right to the center of that ballroom, set down her beat-up radio crackling with static and hit play. A shaky version of some old waltz filled the air, and before anyone could laugh, a boy, Nate, son of some hotshot councilman, pushed through the crowd. "I'm dancing with her," he said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. His mom hissed, "Nathan, sit down." But he just took Ellie's hand, and they moved clumsy, sure, but real, like two kids daring the world to look away. That dance wasn't perfect. Not by a long shot. Ellie tripped once. Nate missed a beat, but it was like a spark in a dry field, lighting up something nobody expected. Even Victor lowered his glass, his smirk fading. When they finished, Ellie looked him dead in the eye. "So, you keeping your word? Or is that just for show?" The crowd held its breath, me included, waiting for Victor to laugh it off. But he didn't. He cleared his throat, muttered something about keeping promises, and just like that, Ellie was moving into the manor. New bed, new rules, new everything. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Except it wasn't. It was a test, and Ellie knew it. Living in that mansion was like walking on eggshells. Victor had her on a leash, etiquette lessons, math tutors, dance instructors barking orders like, "Back straight. Don't slouch. You're not swatting flies." Ellie soaked it up, but you could see it in her eyes. This wasn't home. Not yet. Joe was still out there in the gardens, pruning roses, whispering warnings about Victor's games. Powerful men don't make dares for fun. Ellie, they set traps. And then there was Nate, sneaking her out for bike rides on the back paths, laughing under the stars, reminding her she wasn't alone. But the whispers started creeping in, staff muttering about the charity case, guests sneering at the gardener's kid playing princess. Then came the real blow. Someone trashed Joe's greenhouse's pride, his orchid smashed to bits. Ellie found it at dawn, pots shattered, vines torn. She ran to me, voice shaking. "Who'd do this, Uncle Mike?" I didn't have an answer, but Victor did. Security tapes showed MS. Clara, Ellie's tutor, slipping in at midnight, paid off by Victor's rival, some slick developer named Davenport who wanted the manor's land for condos. That could have broken her, but Ellie? She doubled down. She started the Lily Project, named after Victor's daughter who'd passed years ago, a program for kids like her, kids from nowhere, to learn without being laughed at. She stood up at a town hall, barely taller than the podium, and said, "I'm not here to be your symbol, I'm here to build something real." Her voice cracked, but it carried, and people listened. Donors pulled out. Sure, Davenport's cronies made sure of that, but Ellie wrote letters, spoke to crowds, planted seeds in community gardens. Slowly, teachers, parents, even kids started showing up, volunteering, believing. Victor backed her, too, not just with money, but with something deeper, like he saw his daughter in her fight. A year later, the manor's gates opened for a celebration. The Lily Project was thriving, mobile classrooms, mentorships, gardens blooming in towns nobody cared about before. Ellie stood by a sapling she'd planted that first day, now tall as her, and said, "We didn't just survive, we grew." The crowd roared, even the skeptics, and I swear, I saw Victor wipe a tear. But here's the thing, growth like that makes enemies. Davenport's still out there, circling, and not everyone's cheering. Is Ellie a hero, or just a kid caught in a bigger game? What do you think? Can one girl's truth really change a town, or is she just stirring up trouble? Drop a comment, tell me your take, and maybe share a story of someone who fought the odds where you're from. Let's keep this conversation growing.